If you're coming from the Life Reset video, this is great. And if you haven't watched the Life Reset video, I highly encourage you to watch that before you watch this one, because in this video we're going to talk about how to make that process easier during winter, and also tips to enter winter strong and enter 2025 strong. As I mentioned in the previous video, winter is a time of hibernation, it's a time to slow down, it's a time to look inward. It comes with the magical season, it's full of cozy plans and moments for self-reflection. But let's be honest, winter sometimes can be quite overwhelming, especially when we're trying to stay healthy, when we're trying to get back on track. The fact that there's a lot of eating plans involved, the fact that it's a lot colder, this really doesn't help. So today, in order to help us with this journey, I'm just going to talk about 10 winter myths and sharing tips backed by science that are going to help us with this. And this is for everyone. If you're doing a life reset, great. If you just want to enter winter strong, great. And if you just are here because you want to be healthy, also great. The first myth is that winter is to slow down completely. It's easy to fall down into the idea that winter is for hibernation. And while it is true, I think some of us take it to the complete extreme. I mention it a lot. Slowing down and rest is incredibly important. However, if you slow down completely and do nothing, that can actually be harmful for our health. Our human bodies were not meant to be sedentary. During winter, the cold actually causes our blood vessels to constrict. So movement is actually going to improve our circulation. Also, with the colder days, a lot of us tend to feel really down. So moving around is going to help us release endorphins, which are the feel-good hormone. And the plus here is that exercise helps us boost our immune system by improving the flow of our white blood cells. And this is just going to help us stay strong during winter. Also, a little thing here is that if you're working on your life reset, movement actually is going to help build momentum. It's going to keep your energy high, and it's going to make it easier to stick to a new habit. Also, if you're not used to working out, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a huge, massive, intense workout. It can be as easy as a 15-minute walk. Just make sure that you're not staying in the sofa during the entire winter and that you're giving your body some movement. Okay, since we're talking about movement here, I want to hop onto the next myth, which is it's too cold to go outside. And yes, depending on where you are, it might be too cold to get outside. But fresh air and natural light are incredibly important for our health. First of all, sunlight helps us regulate our circadian rhythm, and this is going to help us improve sleep. And exposure to cold temperatures can actually boost our circulation and our immune system. Even if it's just, again, 10-minute walk out there in the sunlight, making sure that you get your vitamin D, this is already going to help improve our mood. Also, there's a benefit here, which is that getting outside helps us clear our mind and gives us a fresh perspective, which is key to staying focused on our goals. And for those days where you don't feel like walking and you're just tired, maybe just sit on a terrace with your blanket, but just let that fresh air get to you. Okay, since we're still in the moving, getting out and not staying indoors area, I want to talk about the next myth, which is you can skip strength training in winter. I don't know if you ever heard that one, but actually strength training is so important for our health. Building muscle is going to help our metabolism. It's going to help us improve our joint stability, and it is going to help our body keep warm during winter by generating more energy. So here's the science. Resistance training has been shown to improve bone density, reducing the risk of osteoporosis, which is especially important in the colder months when joint pain tend to flare up. Also, feeling physically strong is going to give you the confidence and energy to take up new challenges, which is great for this time of the year when we're trying to decide what we want and what we want to focus on in the new year that is coming. If you're not used to this type of training, you can just start small with body weight exercises at home, like squats, lunges, and push-ups. Maybe just start with a 10-15 minute workout and then just build it up from there. What I do right now is that I am with a personal trainer and I'm using the Train Well app. We focus on the type of goals that I want for my fitness journey, and it's really, really good because I can work out from the comfort of my own home. Okay, because we're talking about moving and exercising and not sitting all the time, you're probably thinking we need rest at some point. And yes, we do. But I want to talk about the next myth, which is you should sleep as much as possible during winter. So let's try to understand this one. It is true that with the darker months and the colder months, we want to stay at home and we want to rest more and sleep more. And it might seem like it makes sense. And now, while we need rest and while we need good sleep quality, oversleeping can actually disrupt our circadian rhythm and leave us feeling groggy, and I'm pretty sure you have experienced this at some point. Quality, consistent sleep is what really matters. Studies have actually shown that waking up at the same time every day, or almost every day, it's going to help us regulate our body's internal clock, improving our energy and our focus. A good sleep routine sets the foundation for everything else. Focus, energy, and the ability to adapt and build new habits. You should aim for 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and the best advice I could give you is for you to spend some time on natural light if it's possible, of course. Now with the darker months, it's quite difficult. When we expose ourselves to natural light first thing in the morning, this is actually going to help our body wake up. Okay, next myth, and actually I was surprised about this one. You don't need extra self-care during winter. And with self-care here, I am talking about our mental health. Shorter days, less sunlight, this can be incredibly hard on our mental health. I don't know if you have ever heard it, but seasonal affective disorder is a real thing, and it is linked to reduced serotonin levels. While I love a good pamper routine, self-care is not only about pampering. It's about taking care of our mental health and giving our body what it needs in order to recharge. So here I'm talking about things like mindfulness practices, journaling, yoga, meditation. All of these practices help us reduce our cortisol levels, which is our stress hormone, and it's going to help us feel good. Self-care is going to help us stay balanced and prevent burnout. And this, if you slowly incorporate practices like this, it's going to help you stay motivated and aligned, for instance, in your life reset. So maybe you can start with a 5-minute guided meditation if you're not used to it, or 10-minute journaling. You could use some prompts, or just take a blank page and just like put in there everything that is happening on your mind and how you're feeling, and make it fun. Prepare some coffee or some tea, whatever that helps you feel like it's not a to-do or a task. The next myth is your skin doesn't need extra care in winter. I don't know if you have a skincare routine. If you don't, then you should have one. But one of the biggest mistakes that we make is staying with the same skincare routine that we use in summer. The air in winter is so much drier, and that dryness can harm our skin barrier. Our skin is the body's largest organ, and its job is to protect us from irritants and bacteria. When this barrier is compromised, you're more likely to experience redness, itchiness, and also even breakouts. Hydration is a necessity for your skin's health. Research shows that humectants like hyaluronic acid can hold up to 1,000 times more their weight in water, making them perfect for locking moisture during the dry months. Also, something good about having a healthy skin is that it helps us boost our confidence, and it makes self-care feel intentional and not just superficial. So just make sure that for these months you have a rich moisturizer. Incorporate maybe a hydrating serum. You don't need a super complex skincare routine. Just make sure that you're keeping your skin healthy. And don't forget your lips. Our lips tend to get super dry during winter. So use a balm with maybe beeswax or shea butter to prevent them from cracking. Okay, talking about hydration, something that we do a lot during winter is drink hot drinks. And the myth here is that hot drinks keep you hydrated. Now, I love cozy drinks. I'm actually drinking a warm coffee right now. But here's the thing. Caffeine is a diuretic, which means it actually increases water loss in your body. If you combine that with already the dry air in winter, dehydration can really increase super rapidly. And the thing is, dehydration is not only going to affect our mood, but it's also going to affect our digestion, our ability to focus, and not to mention the function of our cells. I can get into that in another video if you would like to hear more about this. Studies have shown that even a small drop of dehydration, even if it's just 1% drop in body water, winter can impair our cognitive performance and make us feel fatigued. Hydration keeps our brain sharp and our body energized. And this is also essential for our goals if you're working on a life reset before 2025. So here's what I would do and what I would advise you to do. For every caffeinated drink, have a glass of water or a herbal tea. Teas like ginger or chamomile are especially great for winter because they're going to help with our digestion and also help us relax. The next myth is comfort food is always bad. And I think for this, it's really important your concept of comfort food. So it is not news to us that winter and comfort food tend to go hand in hand. But there's a difference between comfort food that nourishes you and comfort food that leaves you feeling sluggish. And don't get me wrong, I understand every now and then when we're demotivated or feeling down or we just feel like having it, it's okay to have unhealthy comfort food. But when we tend to that all the time, and especially now in winter when we spend a lot of times indoors and with plans that involve eating, it can be really harmful for our body. So why not try to make our own version of comfort food that are actually healthy and nourish our bodies? So for instance, we can try things like sweet potatoes, kale, carrots. These are packed with vitamin A and C and are going to help support our immune system so much. They're also going to help us fight inflammation. Spices like turmeric and ginger are natural antibiotics, which are going to help us if we get sick. And also they're packed with anti-inflammatory properties, which are going to help us with our digestion. Something that I really like is that nourishing meals actually helps us stay energized and it makes it easier to stay consistent with habits. So you can try a warm veggie soup or roasted veggies with warming spices like paprika or cinnamon. And the best thing to do here, mainly for the days that you are exhausted, is to have had prepared a meal before. And I know this can be challenging because some of us barely have the time. But now that Jorge is not here, because normally my partner is the one that cooks because he loves it. But now that Jorge is not around, I am in charge of my food. And I tend to break my healthy habits, my healthy eating habits when he's not around because I'm exhausted from my experiments in the laboratory, from work. I just arrive home and I'm like shattered and I have no energy to cook. So I really put an effort into a few days before, having picked a day to do massive cooking and leave it into little tuppers and keep them either in the freezer or in the fridge. And then the next day that I come home completely exhausted, I can fight the urge of ordering comfort food and have the one that I already prepared, which is really nice and full of vitamins and is going to help me nourish my body. Okay, the next myth is supplements can replace eating. Now, I love supplements. I have my supplements. Supplements can help fill in gaps, but they're not a replacement for whole nutrient-dense foods. I don't care if we're talking about a protein shake, if we're talking about pills, I don't care. Supplements are not a replacement. They can be an addition to help with our health. Real food is going to provide fiber. It's going to provide antioxidants. It's going to provide phytonutrients. And this works synergistically to support our health. A balanced, healthy diet keeps your body fueled and your mind sharp. And please bear in mind, when I mention diet, I'm just talking about what you eat on a daily basis. So yes to supplements, but no to replace the meals with supplements. Okay, and finally, the last myth that maybe doesn't have a lot to do with staying strong during winter, but it has to do a lot of entering 2025 or just the new year strong. This is quite the myth that a lot of people do and I used to do. And this is that you have to wait until the new year, you have to wait until January to work on your life, to work on your new goals. Why are you going to wait for January 1st? Let's be honest, January 1st, you're probably not going to do anything. I mean, this obviously is different for each person. Not everyone is celebrating the 31st and partying super intense and going to bed super late. But if you do this, chances are January 1st, you're not going to do anything. And I don't know where you are from, but in Spain, Christmas doesn't end on January 1st. After New Year's, we have the Three Kings. So normally our Christmas finish around the 7th or the 8th of January, which means it's not after that we're going to start working, the majority of us. Again, this doesn't apply to everyone, but it's only until that time that we're going to start working on our life. And I don't know if you can relate with this, but for me, whenever I say goodbye to my family, whenever I have to leave home and come back to where I live usually, it drains me emotionally and my motivation just goes back down. So really, it takes a very long time for me to like pull myself together again, gather strength and start working on my life again. So really, it's not really January. For me, it doesn't really happen in January. And I think a lot of people experience this. So why wait until January when you can already start now? I think starting November, December, these 2 months are perfect to start building small, sustainable habits. When you start now, even if it's just like small, tiny things, you roll into the new year with momentum. Like you already started, you're already in the process, rather than stepping into the new year with a lot of pressure of having to start all of a sudden. Starting now means that you are already ahead. And it is actually going to make it easier to stay on track once the new year begins. So if I were you, do the life reset, pick 1 or 2 habits, work on those ones, make them the easiest ones, and then when those habits come out naturally to you, then pick the next 2 and go step by step and little by little. Just start. The thing is just starting. Once you start, you just go from there. And again, I think November and December are the best months to do this. My only thing here is that sometimes with Christmas, a lot of plans with your family coming, you know, there's a lot of plans eating, there's a lot of plans to go out, and I love this. But this can also influence our life reset. So this is the only thing I would be careful with. I will make a video about this. I think I do it almost every year, how to try to stay healthy and manage your life reset when Christmas plans kick in. But yeah, I would definitely start today. So yeah, this is the video for today. I think when winter comes, it can really hold you back. But if we approach it in the right way and with the right mindset and the right habits, it is easier to continue with our lives and do things that are really important to us. I really hope that this video helped you. If you would like to connect, feel free to use the comments or join me in the community that I'm trying to build, this lovely, beautiful space, judgment-free, and to connect with each other and support each other in this journey. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.